As discussed before, Docker files is what we needed to create a container. So you can see here Docker file is a script file that contains instructions for building a Docker image. It defines a base image, setups environment variables, installs softwares, and configures the container for specific application or service. So whenever you want to create a Docker file, you have to follow certain parameters and certain standards. We'll see what all it involves. So the first in the list, it comes with the from, because as you see here, it needs a base image to set up the environment. So the base image could be Ubuntu, sometimes it's just a Java, anything, right? So from is the command. Remember, you have to use this in capital letters and then followed by your operating system or any application you want to start with, followed by the tag name. And then you can also have work directory wherein you have to see where the application should start working, what is the root folder for that. You can mention that as work directory. There is also in capital letters. So all the commands or instructions you see in the Docker file in the capital letters. Please remember that. Similarly, copy is one. When you want to copy certain sources from your local to the Docker file, you can do this via copy. And then the run command is where the actually we run certain commands, shell commands especially. The Docker files we need to execute some shell commands, so we do that via run command. Say for example in this case apt get update and then install curl commands. So these things on top of your actual OS, that is your base image Ubuntu, on top of that you perform this. So this is required for any OS. So any shell script command you want to execute, you follow this run command. Similarly, you also called env. Env is nothing but environment variables. If you want to set any environment variables for your future reference, you can do that by using env command. And also expose is where you have to give the port number for your application, which will redirect to that particular port. If you expose 8080 means the application will redirect to the 8080 port. And then the command is where the default parameter will start executing. The container will start executing by seeing this command. So cmd is where your application starts. You can refer this. And also you can use you can also use the entry point. This is where the container will actually execute, and the previously what we talked about is so this is for particular commands you can use. Either you can use cmd or entry point, both will execute. So here they have taken an example as node app.js. So by passing that command, the application will start, the server will start. Similarly in Java case, we use the jar file Java command with -jar and the jar file path. It will also start the Java process. There is also called arguments, which is used to pass it during the Docker build. This is most useful when you have different environments. You pass this via argument during your Docker build. Say for example versions tagging, and also environment, which environment you want to create, if there is any environment specific builds. Also, as we seen before, volume also one thing you have to create in your Docker file. You can do that. Similarly, label is one part where this is just information. It doesn't contains any or executes any commands. It basically gives a label as name suggests. Also, if you want to run the particular Docker file with a specific user, you can also do that by calling the user command. And there is one more thing is like if you want to add some local files to the Docker file, you can do that by using the add command. So normally even copy also will work the same, but add means it will also extract the archives. That is one additional capabilities it has. And if you see here, this is one complete example for Node.js application. So you can see from is the base version, we are using Node. 20 is the tag, and we created a word directory saying that /app, and we are copying the package.json file which is in the current directory where the Docker file resides, and then we are running the npm install which will install all the packages, and then we are copying some sources. We are exposing to 8080, which means the application will execute in 8080. We are also setting the environment as production, and finally we are launching the container using command called node app.js.